this is going to be a very interesting mock draft because I am going to be giving you my provisions, predictions for the future, as I'm going to be thinking about who is going to be a riser at the combine, who's going to be a faller, who's going to stay the same. Hopefully I can get some information to you on that in another mock draft, but it's been a while. It's been maybe maybe even 2 months since we've done a mock draft. So let's get back to good old reliable, just crank out a video. 32 picks, 1 round. I probably will do a 2-round mock draft sometime, just not right now. I'm trying to, just get into the process of looking at pretty much, like the top maybe 150 players. I think that's my goal. I've already looked at Max Mitchell, so that's a plus. But that is my goal for this year. And there are going to be some guys that I cannot get to you on, like Tyler Smith. He's been getting more hype recently, and I don't know where he's going to go because I've never seen him before. I've looked at Jamari Sawyer, I've looked at Darian Kennard, but I've not looked at Dylan Parham, right? I've looked at Alec Lindstrom like 1 game, and that was last year. Or before last year at this point. And yeah, I mean, there's going to be a lot more changes because the last mock draft we did wasn't the most, excuse the voice crack, wasn't the most up-to-date one, So let's crank out Evan Neal at number 1. His upside is what is going to guarantee the number 1 overall pick at some point, unless the Jags come out with a statement against Evan Neal. Say that, oh, Evan Neal, character concerns, or maybe Evan Neal is not on their board very high. Maybe Ike Ekwonu, I guess his nickname, I guess. So I'm going to call him that, Ike Ekwonu. I like it. Maybe Ike Ekwonu is high on their board. Maybe he's their number 1 offensive tackle. There are 5 potential number 1 overall picks. That is not normal. Like, 2021, we knew it was going to be Trevor Lawrence. 2020, Joe Burrow, we knew that. Kyler Murray, we were pretty much all predicting it. 2018, we didn't predict. 2017, we knew it was Myles Garrett. 2016, we knew that it would either be Jared Goff or Carson Wentz. 2015, Jameis Winston or Marcus Mariota, right? 2014 was going to be Jadeveon Clowney. 2013, either Eric Fisher or Luke Joeckel, right? 2012, guaranteed Andrew Luck. 2011, pretty much guaranteed Cam Newton. 2010, guaranteed Sam Bradford. You see what I'm saying? We've never had like 5 contenders for the number 1 overall pick. And this is what makes this decision so intriguing because it depends on what the Jags feel about players, right? I think Evan Neal is the best tackle in the draft because you look at his size, you look at his athleticism for the position. It's not about his technical ability right now, but it's about his technical ability in the future. That is where I'm at on him. As number 2, there are actually a lot of contentions for this pick, and I know Lions fans will be pissed at me, but it's Malik Willis. I could see it happening on draft day because I do think he could be a high riser. Like the Senior Bowl had him rise, but I think the Combine could even make a guaranteed quarterback 1 on everyone's list, right? I think this should be Aiden Hutchinson. I'm not going to change it up unless I did something different in my last one. Aiden Hutchinson's a great player. A lot of people's number 1 player in the class, including Daniel Jeremiah's, who I will be coming out with a video. Hopefully it was before I post this one, me reacting to Daniel Jeremiah's newest top 50 players, because it was certainly a very interesting list. But he had Aiden Hutchinson as the number 1 overall player in the class, and for good reason, because Aiden Hutchinson's a tremendous athlete, tremendous player on the field, and he has great personality. You're not going to get many concerns with him. Very, very good player, and a Heisman finalist. And actually, he's not even technically a one-year wonder, because in 2021, many considered him to be a first-round pick, or second-round pick at the worst. Coming into this year, it was the exact same story. Second-round pick, maybe first round. Like 20s to 30s range for Aiden Hutchinson, right? He's been a very consistent player throughout his career at Michigan, and he's just upgraded that to become an amazing Aiden Hutchinson, who is going to be the first edge rusher off the board. It could be Thibodeau. I could see that happening. Kyle Hamilton to the Lions is actually a pick that I really like a lot. I don't really see anyone else though, because this is a really interesting pick. And again, Malik Willis is a possibility. I don't want you to rule that out just yet. But I do have a feeling that the Lions will take a quarterback. Whether it's in the first or the second, I think they should take a quarterback. And it's up to them what they want to take before. Quarterback should be a concern for them, in my opinion. Number 3 is the Houston Texans. They need literally every position. Everything. Now, there are certain players which make their position more valuable than others, like tackle, right? There's Ika Mekwonu and Charles Cross if they want to go tackle, but if they want to go receiver, which they do need to go one, Traylon Burks, Garrett Wilson, and Jameson Williams, they're not fit to be a top 3 player. So I think you should go best player available. I know maybe you need offensive line, and that is a huge need for you. Ika Ekwonu can help you with that. But, like I said, I have to go with best player available, and that is going to be Kyle Hamilton. Listen, you may not like this pick now, but I think this man's going to at least put up one good year of football. At least one. Okay, now I know he's on the Texans or whatever, but he is so versatile. You can just see the ability on the field. You can see his potential for his future in the NFL. Personally, he is my best player in the draft. I really like Kyle Hamilton, and I think he can go at number 3 overall. Jets at 4, Ika Mekwonu. Simple. I mean, I don't see why the Jets would pass up on him, unless they want to go Charles Cross, which they could go in a direction like that because Charles Cross is a really good pass blocker. But I think Ika Mekwonu is the better player, and Jets have him at 4. Take him. Giants at 5. Now, this is going to be a pro strat because their new GM, I'm hoping that he has a lot of brain to him. I'm going with Charles Cross. Here's the reason why. The Panthers could take Charles Cross at 6, but they will have no intention of drafting an edge rusher because they already have Hassan Reddick, Yetur Gross-Matos, Morgan Fox, and not to mention one of the league's, he's going to become, at one point in his career, one of the league's premier pass rushers in Brian Burns. Edge is not a concern for them. Unless they want to go with, a left end, like Brian Burns is right end, of course. I don't think it's their main concern. It's offensive line and quarterback, which also seem to be needs of the Giants. So, if you let Thibodeau fall, I think there's a more likelier chance that he falls to 7 than Cross falling to 7, and then you have to settle with Tyler Linderbaum. You're not settling for anyone. You're going to draft day to get what you want. And hopefully you're not as aggressive as I may be in your position, but you have to try and get whatever you want. If Charles Cross is what you want, take him. Because the Panthers are not going to take Kayvon Thibodeau at 6. Who I do think they're going to take at 6, though, is Malik Willis. Because, of course, tackle's off the board. Center is a need, which I could see them addressing, but I don't like Linderbaum at 6. The other guy I was considering, if Cross was gone at 6, was Trevor Penning, because of his athleticism. I don't know if Linderbaum goes in the top 10. A lot of people do think that he will. We'll see when it comes to the draft. But Malik Willis at 6, like I said, I think he's going to be the quarterback 1 in the class. And he is my quarterback 1 in the class currently as well. Because it's his potential. Again, just like I said with Evan Neal. It's not because of his play right now. It's because of his future play in the NFL. The Panthers are in a really good situation. They don't need to start him right away. Sam Darnold's already financially set. Fine. Malik Willis can just sit behind him. Sam Darnold can get out of there. Malik Willis can come in and start. And worst case scenario, you start Malik Willis at week 8. Alright? Okay. That was a disgusting right. Because I opened my mouth, but I didn't say R, and then that's what came out. As Kayvon Thibodeau falls to 7. A lot of people have been dying off on him. I don't know if it's character concerns. I don't know if it's injury concerns. I don't know if it's play on the field, play outside the field. I don't know what's going on with Thibodeau, but I've seen players free fall. Look at the 49ers. They said they didn't want Justin Fields. Justin Fields fell down to 11. 11. And he was like a top 3, maybe even top 2 quarterback in the class. And, well, he fell to number 11. What can I say? Right? Thibodeau, I think, could be in a similar situation where he does fall out of the top 5. I think he's a top 5 player on the field. I can't speak for him off. I can speak for his personality towards the coaches, towards his players. I can't do anything like that, right? Because I don't know the guy. But Thibodeau at 7, it does make sense. And another reason why, the Giants need an edge rusher. Dexter Lawrence and Leonard Williams are not defensive ends. They are not. Falcons at 8. Instead of an edge rusher, which I really do like Trayvon Walker or David Ojabo, personally, I would pick David Ojabo over Trayvon Walker. But Walker is a very good player. I think this could be a wide receiver. It depends on how much they consider the pass rush to be a need, because it's a huge need. They could go, I think main 3 concerns, corner, edge, and wide receiver. Personally, I would not like it if they went receiver. I don't think that's a top 8 need. Edge, I think that's probably the most likely one that they take. Trayvon Walker's versatile. David Ajabo's a great athlete. I don't think Jermaine Johnson's a top 10 candidate. But I do think he could sneak his way inside the top 10 because of his athleticism. I'm going to go with David Ojabo. A lot of people are falling off on him. I'm not. 85 first round. Robert Quinn's his prospect comparison. Interesting. But it's his athleticism, man. It's always on the showcase. You always see it. You see it every single game that he plays. He gets after the passer super, super well. And, I mean, he's just an extremely talented player. He's going to get you sack numbers. He's going to get you, I think, a considerable amount of pressure numbers. And, again, I'm talking about these players like they do succeed in the league, because we know that David Ojabo and Malik Willis, guys like them, they have a lot of potential to not succeed in the league. These voice cracks are killing me. But David Ojabo at 8, people bite on potential sometimes. You have seen it a lot. You see guys like Trey Lance go in the top 3, right? Can I think of another example? 2018... I guess Sam Darnold could be considered a guy with high upside. Solomon Thomas, maybe. 2016, 2015. I can't really think of much more, but they bite on potential. And David Ojabo, high potential guy. I do think he could slip, because people may be worried, oh, he's very new to the game of football. But I think that's a dumb argument at this point in time. If a man's got himself so high, you know that he's got a talent for football. That should not be a concern for you, right? Ojabo at 8. I said this a million times. Now, Ojabo at 8. But David Ojabo at 8. Final pick for the Falcons. Pressurize the quarterback because he did not get enough sacks. Number 9 is the Denver Broncos. This is where I see Jermaine Johnson going. This is where I think that he will be, pretty good at. And I know that quarterback is a big need for them. I don't like any other quarterbacks available, right? Johnson, again, high potential guy. I think decent pressurizer. I do see a lot of run-stopping capability with him as well. He is scheme versatile, you can see right there. Johnson's just a good player. Now, I think he would be amazing right next to Bradley Chubb, right? I don't know what scheme the Broncos run, so I'm not going to say anything just yet. But Jermaine Johnson at 9. Broncos do need an edge rusher to replace the hole that Von Miller left them with. Chubb is very injury prone, so I think it would be very, very valuable to add a guy like Johnson at number 9. Jets at 10. You know a pick that's really been spiraling up recently? Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson to the Jets. I don't think anyone else would go here. Drake London, maybe, but I think Garrett Wilson. It's either Garrett Wilson for me, or Ahmad Gardner, or Trent McDuffie. I can't think of Stingley Jr. as a top 10 player anymore. What do the Jets want to do? I mean, they have Bryce Hall. Is Bless Austin still on that team? I know they have LaMarcus Joyner, who's a very versatile guy. I mean, if you consider LaMarcus Joyner a corner, and then you maybe assign a guy in free agency, which I do think the Jets should address, I guess Garrett Wilson will be the move. 11 is the Washington football team. A need for them is corner, and I think Trent McDuffie could be super cool for them. Like, amazingly cool, because he can do everything. He can do every single thing that you want him to. I think McDuffie's the second best corner in the class behind Ahmad Gardner. Quarterback, again, I don't like the corners on the board. How would McDuffie fit? I mean, as a do-it-all, I mean, he plays boundary of Washington, so I do think he could play boundary for Washington. Is this Seattle, Washington? Is that what that is? Hold on, I'm getting confused. Washington University. It's in Seattle, Washington. Okay. So, different Washingtons, but they still start with Washington. Commanders, did I say football team before? If I do, I apologize. But the Commanders here, I think they should take corner, because I don't, like, Curtis Samuel and Terry McLaurin are enough, right? Quarterback, I could see him going, because quarterbacks do go very high in the draft, mostly, usually. Corner is the best spot. I like either Ahmad Gardner or McDuffie. Let's go with McDuffie. I nearly went Booth Jr. there. But McDuffie, very good player, can do it all. That's what I like in a corner. That's what I like in him. I think he's the best corner. He's the second best corner in the draft, behind Ahmad Gardner, who goes at 12. The corners could go in any order. I think Gardner could go at 11. McDuffie or Stingley at 12. Of course, Stingley could go at 11. The corners, it's going to be interesting to see the order in which the corners go, because it was the same thing last year, because there was a debate going, who's going to be the first corner off the board. Personally, I thought it was going to be J.C. Horn. Did I? I like J.C. Horn more than Patrick Surtain, that's for sure. I had him over Surtain on my draft board. I know that for a fact. I don't know if I predicted him to go higher, though. I don't know, but a lot of people said, hey, Horn's going to go at 8. But then people said Horn's going to fall out of the top 10. Surtain's going to go at 10 to the Cowboys. It was weird, and I think it's going to be the same thing here. It's your determination on these players. Personally, I like Stingley less, and I like McDuffie and Gardner more. That's why I have them going higher than him. Browns at 13. I don't care how low wide receiver is. It's still a need for them. Jameson Williams, I mean, he had an ankle injury, but that's, again, kind of bullcrap way to, sneak your way out of this pick, because you know that Jameson Williams is a great player. Now, Baker Mayfield's style of play is what concerns me with Jameson Williams to the Browns. I think Williams should go in the top 10. His talent is amazing. But I think Treylon Burks just fits better with what Baker Mayfield usually does, which is check down, right? Sometimes he goes for those mid-area passes, but Burks is very good on those short routes. He is a clean, reliable receiver, and I think he's really getting overlooked. I don't think he's getting enough hype as I think he should be getting. As 14 is the Baltimore Ravens, I would love Trayvon Walker. If he's actually available at 14, scouts and NFL draft analysts, they're getting excited about this guy. I have been having his back for a long time now. I had him going to the Falcons at like 11 at one point. I don't even know. I don't know when I do these mock drafts, because I certainly don't remember the picks, which really gives me a good opportunity to diversify these picks. But Trayvon Walker at 14, I think he's an extremely talented player, can do it all. And I think Jordan Davis really and Devontae Wyatt got the attention. Trayvon Walker was so good. He was so good for Georgia this year. Amazing year for Walker, and 6'5", 275. Wow. He's pretty good. Walker at 14. Eagles at 15. I think Stingley could fall to 19. I see, again, draft smart. Don't draft the best player available at the topmost pick. Don't do that. Think of how a player could go, because the Chargers and the Saints are not looking for corners. Now, I could see a world though where the Chargers take Stingley Jr., but I don't think they will. So the Eagles could have him at 19, but it is a mock draft. I'm not trying to give any player spite here. So we'll go with Derek Stingley Jr. I think linebacker could be very useful. I really do. Edge, I don't like at all right now. So, and I don't really like corner remaining either. So, let's go with the linebacker. Let's go with Devin Lloyd. You know, I think Devin Lloyd... no, you know what? Let's go Nakobe Dean. Because I think he's very, very good in utilizing his pass rush capability as well as coverage. And that's what Nakobe Dean's, you know, that's his main game. His versatility on how to do every single thing. So Dean goes at 16. Again, no spite to Devin Lloyd. I'm not trying to show spite to these players. It's what could a team take for their needs and for their likes at a particular position, right? As Chargers, I'm going with Jordan Davis. I don't care if I do it a lot, but Davis helps their run-stopping defense, which was horrifyingly horrible, as these last 4 picks, 3 of them have been Georgia Bulldogs. 18's the New Orleans Saints. I have to go quarterback. I don't like the quarterbacks on the board. For them, though, I think Kenny Pickett would be the best option. I don't like Kenny Pickett as much anymore. I do think he's going to be a major faller. I think he could fall out of the first round even, right? But Kenny Pickett, since they have guys like Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, they run routes that could be, you know, related to Kenny Pickett's style of play. He's not great at anything. I think he's just good, or, you know, like in the middle between between average and good at everything you want. And maybe that's what you want. He has good zip on his throws. He's a decent player, all right? He's nothing horrible. So the Saints, I think he just fits the players that they have on that team. Eagles at 19. I want to go edge. I really do. Jermaine Johnson could have fallen to here, but instead I took him at 9 because I do think his potential could, you know, make some guys sniffing. So now I'm stuck, and I really do think they need edge rusher. I'm going to have to be forced to draft George Karlaftis. I would love to go wide receiver for them. I really would, but it just doesn't work out in this situation. As Steelers at 20, let's go with Sam Howell, because a lot of people are high on Sam Howell still, right? Because the talent's there. Everything's there. Just there are players who have maybe higher ceilings and better arms and better, maybe even better accuracy, but Howell is very, very accurate, usually. So Sam Howell goes at 20 at the Steelers. Doesn't have the highest ceiling, but that's not what the Steelers need. They don't need a high ceiling quarterback. They need a quarterback that can start right now. Whether they trade for one or they draft one, I think Howell can be a great player to draft at 20. 21 is the New England Patriots. Corner sucks. I don't think Jameson Williams is the guy for the Patriots. I'm going with Drake London, a reliable target. Reliable, keyword. But you can also throw it up to him. Now, Williams, on the other hand, Mac Jones and Jameson Williams could be so sick, you know? It could be so sick, but I think Drake London just fits the Patriots more better. It's not about what has to do with Mac Jones. What can we do to make Mac Jones succeed? He's not the only player on your team. You got many other talented players on that roster that are trying to compete for a Super Bowl, and Drake London can be one of them. 22 is the Las Vegas Raiders. Guy could be getting a lot of hype at the end of the year, Zion Johnson. Now, Tyler Linderbaum's on the board. Ugh, do I draft him to the Raiders? I have to, bro. Linderbaum could fall into 22. I think the Eagles could take him, replace Jason Kelsey. I think any team could take him, because If you don't have a guy like Rodney Hudson on your team, who is so good as a center for the Cards, you want Tyler Linderbaum. Like, no one has the best center in the league except for the Cardinals and arguably the Eagles. Cardinals at 23, I think this should be an edge, but there's no good edge rushers on the board. Kyler Gordon could go here. It's not a pick that I like. It's not the sexiest pick, but it could be a pick that works out. This is a tough spot for the Cardinals. If I were them here in this spot, I would trade back. Did I say something? I just took a break. Alright, we're going Booth Jr. Listen, I mean, maybe he should be getting more credit than he's already getting. Plus, this is a very special number to be picked at because he wears, in fact, the number 23. But yeah, he's picked by the Cardinals. I think this is a very, very good player. And I think he's just been, just overshadowed by a really good corner class featuring Trent McDuffie, Ahmad Gardner, Sauce Gardner, Stingley Jr., and I guess maybe Roger McCreary. I think he's just fallen out of that first-round hype. Same thing with Kyler Elam. Kyler Gordon, could be in the first round. I certainly could see that happening. But I think Booth's probably the last first-round caliber corner on the board. As we get to the Cowboys, what's going on with their receiving corps? I mean, their salary cap is really bad. Amari Cooper's taking up a lot of it. Same thing, Michael Gallup. Do you re-sign him or not? If both of them are gone, you will desperately need a receiver, and that could be Jameson Williams. So, in this imaginary world, we're going to pretend that they trade Amari Cooper, and they cut ties with Michael Gallup, and they draft Jameson Williams. It's perfect. You got an amazing receiver in CeeDee Lamb. Jameson Williams was super good at Alabama. Of course, one-year wonder, but I don't care. I don't care. He's so talented, and he has a small frame, but he can do a lot of stuff. 6'2", 188. Yeah, I mean, he's still amazing. Bills at 25. They still need offensive line. Whether you like it or not, whether you think it or not, you know they need offensive line at some point. Josh Allen was just really under duress for pretty much the entire year. Kenyon Green's a really versatile player. Pretty much played 4 of the 5 offensive line positions for Texas A&M. Starts immediately wherever you want him to, except for center. And he'll be a quality starter for you, I think. Hopefully. I mean, again, this is all hope that the player will develop. But I think Kenyon Green will develop. Titans at 26. Very interesting spot. I don't think they're in a position to take Devin Lloyd. I thought maybe he could go to the Patriots, but I ended up going with Drake London instead. Listen, because I do these all on the spot. These are not decisions that are made prematurely. I do these literally just pop down, hit the record button, and do a mock draft. I don't know what I'm going to do. I just do it, right? That's why I talk myself into some picks. But we're going Trevor Penning. It's a really interesting spot because they could go wide receiver, they could go linebacker, but I don't think that's a huge need anymore, the biggest concern or anything. I think they could still go corner with Kyler Gordon. Dax Hill is not needed. I mean, if they don't like Ryan Tannehill, they could go Matt Corral, but that would be stupid. But Trevor Penning at 26. Bucks at 27. I think this is Chris Olave. He's a really good player. I mean, he's just... I think his hype has just died down because there's a point in time where he could have been considered the best receiver in the draft. Now he's no longer. This is a very very, very good wide receiver core. It's the same thing with edge rushers. Really good edge group. Offensive line's extremely talented. Linebackers okay. Corners pretty stacked, but after Darian Kendrick, I guess Marcus Jones is a decent player. I mean, actually, the corner group is actually really good. Safety group is actually decent, but after Jalen Petrie, there's a huge drop-off. Packers at 28. I'm going with Boye Mafe. He just seems like a Packer. He seems like a Packer already. You know? They need edge rusher. They really do. They need someone who can be good at pressurizing the quarterback consistently. That is Boye Mafe. Take him. He's been getting a lot of hype. That's why I'm taking him at 28. Because I don't think he's like the 28th best player. But I do think the Packers really need him. 29 is the Miami Dolphins. I think you take Zion Johnson. I really do. Any help on the offensive line you can get, Zion Johnson can help you out at left guard. I don't know if they need left guard, but it's not their biggest need. But Zion Johnson's a very talented player. Can help Myles Gaskin. Can help Tua Tagovailoa. He can really just help all over the place. Zion Johnson to the Miami Dolphins. Chiefs at 30. Interesting. Because I would love to go Christian Watson, but I don't think he's a first-round guy. I think he's a second-round guy. Although I do love Christian Watson a ton. Jahan Dotson, though, it is. Because I think he's the only first-round caliber receiver there is. Christian Watson, again, like I said, could go in the first round. I think he's very, very fringe. I don't even think he's, like, unbelievably close. I think he's more of a 33 to 40, 50 kind of guy. That's his range. But I do think he'll be so helpful to an NFL team. Whatever NFL team he goes to. It doesn't matter what situation he's in. But Dotson's very fast. He's electric. He's going to give you the numbers. Perfect for the Kansas City Chiefs. Very, very fast receiving core at this point. As 31 Bengals. Again, I would love to go Tyler Smith. I've not seen him. So we're going Bernhard Raimann out of Central Michigan. I'm just going with other people, man. I've not even watched him, but Bernhard Raimann it is. Because he's 6'7", 305. Big player. I guess because he's coming out of Central Michigan, he's another guy that has a high potential. The Bengals just need all the help on that offensive line they can get, all right? This draft is only for improving the offensive line. Darian Kinnard could be a guy who they get in the second round. Maybe Jamari Sawyer if he's available. Abraham Lucas, I think, could be. Nicholas Petit-Frere could be a really good pickup. I always say his name wrong. I know it's Nicholas Petit-Frere, but I can't do it. Nicholas Petit-Frere. Right? By the way, his last name in French means little brother. There's some trivia for you there. Max Mitchell actually could go in the second round. I think he's rated fairly low in this because a lot of people are up significantly high on him. And last but not least, Devin Lloyd. Best defensive player on the board. Guys like Roger McCreary are out. Guys like Devin Lloyd are in. But that is going to do it for the mock draft. Oh my god, what have I done? Is that Control 2? I know Control Plus, I mean, everyone knows that. But, really, you know, a lot of changes. No mock draft stays the same. Yeah, this is a really fun one. I will do one that includes trades. That's probably going to be my final mock draft. And then, I've been getting some ideas recently, so I'll probably do those. So, mock drafts will not be the only thing that are coming out. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And as always, I'll see you next time.